Good afternoon. Happy January 3rd. This is Dr. Barry Gritz, Houston's dancing psychiatrist. Hoping you all are having an amazing weekend. So, to let you know, just had the pleasure earlier this morning doing two fun things. Number one is taught an aqua Zumba class out in the Pearland area. And then I was a student in a wonderful yoga class that was absolutely wonderful and enjoyed that a lot and came to the office, did a little work, and gonna be leaving soon. But read something that I wanted to share with y'all. It was a quote that says, "No act of kindness, no matter how small, is ever wasted." That was by Aesop. No act of kindness, no matter how small, is ever wasted. And why I want to talk about this is sometimes people say, well, I did this nice thing for somebody and they didn't thank me. Really, what I want y'all to look at is the fact that you chose to do something nice for somebody. That was your payoff right there, because planting seeds of kindness and niceness. That is planting the seeds for kindness to occur in your life. You may not get it from that person, but you may get it from somebody else. And I really do think that kindness behooves kindness. And by that I mean I use the concept of a domino. I'm very repetitive. I'm going to say things a lot. One of the things I'm going to repeat is the domino effect. When we're kind to somebody else, the likelihood of that person being kind to the next person they encounter increases substantially. Substantially. So that's what we really want to look at is, and you may not see the kindness that you planted in somebody's pot growing right then and there, but we know seeds sometimes can take a while to grow. Plant that seed, plant that seed, plant it again, plant it again. I heard a very famous pastor talking on the radio, and he gave the analogy. He was with a friend of his, and they went to like a newsstand, and the gentleman was very nice to the guy at the newsstand, and the newsstand guy was very gruff. And his friend said, "Is he always that way?" "Yeah." "Do you always talk to him like that?" "Yeah." He was continuing to be the best he could be, despite however that way that guy was. Plant seeds, plant seeds, plant seeds, and then maybe somebody else is going to plant seeds in our pod too. But either way, just the act of kindness is not wasted, even though you don't see the effects of it at that moment. Just kind of wanted to throw that out there. I thought it was a cool thing to talk about. Uh, while I was here, I also finished up what I'm going to talk with you about next, not today, but what I'm going to talk with you about tomorrow, which is stem cell therapy. While reading, went through one of my men's fitness journals, I read an article about seizure disorder, and it was talking about somebody who had seizures on both sides of their brain compared to an isolated, or what we call focal. Focal means one focus or a certain area of the brain. Some people can have multiple areas of the brain that are impaired because of seizures. And this was looking at a person who had bilateral or seizure, what we call foci of seizure areas on both sides of the brain. And it was talking about therapy that was done to help repair that. A new exciting therapy using stem cells. So when I talk with y'all tomorrow, I use that. When I read that, it made me want to go and read more. So I went and did a little research on making sure I understand stem cells, or at least I understand stem cells better enough to talk with y'all about it, and then talking with y'all about surgery, yeah, about procedures that are looking as alternatives to anticonvulsants or anti-seizure therapy. Hey, I prescribe medicines all day. I believe in medicines, but it's nice to have other tools in our tool belt, because medications, and even though I'm a big advocate of medication when appropriately prescribed, keywords is when appropriately prescribed, they're not without their ramifications. So when I talk with y'all tomorrow, I'm going to be talking with y'all about stem cell therapy for what we call intractable seizures. I'm a psychiatrist. I don't treat seizure disorder myself, uh, but I do recognize it in my patient population and refer to appropriate neurologists in Houston when appropriate. So it's imperative of me to know about this stuff, because to be a good clinician, I need to be aware of even stuff that I don't treat, so I can refer appropriately and I can educate people appropriately about the need to get a referral. And like I said, when I read stuff and I don't fully understand it, I'm going to do education. So y'all are helping me by help. I read a lot anyway. I'm kind of a nerd in that regard. But here was an instance of something I probably wouldn't have read up on if it wasn't for y'all. So I thank y'all for that. With that being said, hope you're going to have a great Saturday night. And I will be back with y'all tomorrow. This is Houston's Dancing Psychiatrist and Dr. Barry Gritz. Please subscribe and watch the channel at Houston's Dancing Psychiatrist. My channel name is at Barry Gritz, and I hope you all have an amazing rest of your night. Take care.